Thank you for joining me today. So this is Janelle Hurst with Legacy Rose Company, and I'm so excited to share this time with my dear friend, Ms. Sheree Reed with Impeccable Patient Care. In this short vignette, we are going to be talking about being in the valley of transition, right? So in life, we all go through so many changes, and it all starts with making a decision. So today we're going to talk about that decision-making process with Miss Sheree, and hopefully the hope is that we will encourage someone else that's in the valley of transition, that's considering making a life change, consider making a career change, a change in their personal life, what have you. Hopefully this will encourage someone else to step forward in faith and
Yes.
be encouraged in their decision-making process. So welcome, Sheree. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Janelle Hurst. My name is Sheree Reed. I am the patient care strategist. I help healthcare organizations and programs provide quality patient care that is unmatched from alternative strategies, courses, or approaches.
Awesome,
In a
awesome.
nutshell, that's what I do.
Wow, that sounds like a huge feat. You know, in my background is in property management, and a big part of that is customer service, right? So, and it sounds with what you're doing essentially is customer service, right? In
Yes.
improving that customer service and that
Yes.
overall experience for patients in a hospital setting. And what better place that to improve that? When you're there, you're usually really in need of help.
Oh,
You're sick, you're helpless, and you need some patience and
right,
you need
right. Yes,
some grace going
yes,
through whatever you're going through. So I applaud you
absolutely.
for filling that need and addressing that concern in that industry.
Yes,
So
thank you. Thank you, of
you
course.
are
Thank you.
so welcome. You are so welcome. So today we're talking about being in the valley of transition. Recently, I shared that I transitioned from corporate America and started my own business as an entrepreneur. And going through that process, you know, I had to first make a decision. I had to have the correct mindset and make that decision to move forward with this. And we're going to talk to you today about that decision-making process. So where was your mindset? Can you tell us a little bit when you were at that decision-making place? What was going through your mind?
Okay. Oh, so much, so much. I'm probably a little different in the way that I approach things in my life. I'm always starting with this gun ho, I can do this. And that's pretty much, the history of, what I throw myself into or what I want to try. It's more of I can do this, and it's not till later that I realize, oh, there's a little more obstacles than I thought there would be. And then, things start creeping in, doubt starts creeping in, and things of that nature. But initially, it was, I have the skills to do this. I have the education to do this. I really can do this. I can make this happen. I am great at what I do on a daily basis. Why not me?
Awesome, awesome. And I like that you said I'm a little bit different when I came to this mindset and decision-making process, because everyone is coming from a different place, right?
Yeah.
The way we arrive at that and the route we take may not all be the same. So in this journey, things can feel so different, but yet so familiar, in
Yes.
terms of some of the emotions like the fear and the anxiety and the nervousness. Those
Yes.
are the same across the board, whether you took the carefully thought out route or you jumped in feet first and
Right.
figured it out. But I think it's important, as you pointed out, to note that people come from approach this differently, and
Yes.
their way of getting into it is different.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about where you are now and some of the emotions and things that you're going through as you are in this current stage? Where are you now in your journey?
So I'm still in that valley of transition. I still hold a full-time job, and it's a lot of work. But my on the emotional side of things, it's like, what was I thinking? It's more of like, who am I to believe I can own and run a successful business?
Mhm.
This is impossible.
Imposter syndrome.
Oh my goodness, it set in and it set in heavy. And I still have those moments, I still have those moments. But I have some techniques that I do when I feel those emotions and those feelings and the anxiety coming on. I feel that and I know how to tackle it. So I'm prepared for that.
Awesome. That's awesome. I like that you mentioned, the imposter syndrome. Who am I? What
Hmm.
made me think I could do this?
Right,
And
right.
and that you have the tools, you said, "Well, why not me? Yeah, I could do it, right?
Hmm.
Why not? Why not?" And that
Exactly.
is so real. When you
Yes.
are trying something new in your case, you're transitioning or working on transitioning from corporate America into entrepreneurship on a full-time basis. Right
Hmm.
now, you're in that valley of transition where you're still doing the full-time job and
Hmm.
you're building this business on the side, giving it your all, and
Yes.
those doubts are creeping in. And
Yeah.
having a full-time job and a side hustle, that full-time job, that blanket of security,
Oh,
when you're having those doubts, can be really tempting to
yes.
to be like, you know what? Well, I have insurance and a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
Do I really want to
Exactly.
go here?
Exactly. I go through that. I go through that daily, and it seems like those comforting words in your head set in.
Hmm.
And then, you may realize how comfortable you are at work, right? How comfortable you are with your job, with your duties. And I do that a lot because I actually love my job. But it's one of those things. I am now ready to make that transition to work for myself and to give it all I have. For over 17 years, I've given the healthcare industry my time and attention, and I just want to continue to do that just on my own terms and with what I know works on a daily basis.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And I hope, I know others are in that same position as you, and I hope they can connect with this and find value in knowing that they're not alone in that in
Yes.
that place, in that road of transition. They're not alone because we
Yes.
all go through that. We
Yes.
all have moments of doubt. Do you mind sharing a tip or two that you used when you are in that place of, do I really want to do this?
Yes.
What are
Yes.
some things that help you, or resources that you lean on?
So there's a couple of things that I've used to, when I get in that place of confusion or doubt, self-doubt. There's a book on mindset, and I'm sure you've heard of it. It is called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
Yes.
I believe the author, his last name is
Mhm.
Helmstetler. But that book has been a tremendous tool and help when I get in those moments. I refer to my notes because I made several notes in reading that book, as well as meditation, right? For a lot of people, I know a lot of people in my circle that has not given meditation a shot. And I was one of those doubters about how well meditation was going to help me. And it has helped me on so many levels, like so many levels. And initially, getting into meditation, I would tell anybody start with 10 minutes, take 10 minutes out of your schedule. Let's start there. And initially, you're still going to have all of these thoughts
Mhm.
and think you're going to have everything going, still running through your head as you're trying to stop, concentrating on your breathing. And sometimes that's a little difficult, when you're getting started. So what I do is reassure myself.
Mhm.
There's a lot of positive self-talk as I meditate. You can
Yes,
do this. You were made for this. You're courageous. You're amazing. You're talented.
yes,
You're and
yes.
I go through all of that as I'm doing my meditation, and that has helped me tremendously. And I say that take the 10 minutes, start there, and gradually work your way up if you want to 15, 20, 30 minutes. And some people meditate for even an hour or more.
Yeah.
And just, depending on your schedule and what you have the
Mhm.
time for and what you can do. But that has helped me tremendously. Um,
Awesome, awesome. So there are two things I want to touch on that you mentioned. The negative self-talk, right? Over the course of our lives, things have been poured into us. Things we've picked up things along the way, whether it's in school, at work, in social settings, that we eventually start to believe and then tell ourselves that are not positive and not really true reflection of who we are and our full potential. And I think I agree with you when you say, retraining and putting in those positive self-talk and those positive reinforcements back into your life, because you have to retrain yourself and
yes,
to let go of some of that negativity.
yes,
And then the second thing you mentioned was meditation,
mhm,
getting to that quiet place. Now,
yes,
when I was in corporate America, I was juggling a full-time job, which honestly was like two full-time jobs.
yeah,
Being a mother, a wife, we just went through or still going through a global pandemic,
yes,
homeschooling full-time. As a result of the pandemic, I started homeschooling our kids full-time. And when you
mm,
have so much on your plate, there's a lot of noise in your head.
yes, yes.
My to-do lists, they still are long, but it was much longer.
Mhm.
Having transitioned from corporate America, I will share one of the benefits is being able to let my creativity flow.
Mm,
The noise has quieted down some. There's still a lot. I still have a lot on my plate,
mhm,
but I found that freeing up that has allowed me to really dial into my business, dial into my family, pour into them the way I haven't been able to for the last how many ever years that I've been doing all of this at the same time. But I'm able to go to that quiet place. I'm
yeah,
able to let my mind just flow and relax and let the ideas come take form. I don't have to shut it off because I have to run to another meeting. I don't have to shut it off because a phone call comes in from work and I need to address that, or there's another email ping on my phone.
mm,
I can take the time to just let it go all the way, go through the course, right? Let
right,
that idea just flow.
yeah.
And it's been so rewarding and so freeing. And to just have that opportunity is a blessing.
I can only imagine to fully be involved. Like, I really look forward to that day when I'm just focusing on the business and not have 10 other things. And not to say that with the business, I won't have added the 10 other things within the business. But
Right.
right now, splitting the time up, it has been a lot. But you do what you desire, you do what you
Yes.
have a calling for. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how challenging it is, it's still going to be there. So you answer that calling, right? It keeps knocking until you answer. So
Yeah. I love it. I love it. This is great information. So many good gems you're sharing with
yeah.
everyone today. Thank you so much.
uh,
So you're in the valley of transition. You're going through that process. For someone that's in the same place in the transition, they haven't quite made the move from corporate to entrepreneurship, or they haven't quite made the move from whatever decision it is they're trying to make and move, or place they're trying to move from.
mhm.
What advice would you give to that person that's in this valley? How
Okay.
would you encourage them today?
I would say read, read, read. That's first. Work on yourself, right? Self-care is so necessary and so ignored at the same
Yes.
time. Most people don't know how much they're ignoring themselves until they start paying attention to themselves, right?
Mhm.
In the healthcare field, we go through this thing called compassion fatigue, a lot of us,
Mm.
and especially in the midst of this pandemic. So if you're not looking for tools and things to help you through that, you're going to set yourself up for ultimate failure. And you have to start paying attention to yourself. There is nothing like it when you do. You get energetic, and it becomes normal after a
Mhm.
while. It becomes normal, and it's okay. It's okay. Some people haven't given themselves permission to pay attention to themselves. And I encourage, if you do nothing else, self care will open the door to whatever it is your heart desires. And start there. Of course, I already mentioned meditation and exercise. I do on a regular basis now. You'd be surprised how great you feel after exercising. And it wasn't until a couple of sessions myself where I'm going to walk 5 miles, and at the end of it I'm like, I'm winded, but I feel great. Like, it makes you feel so good. It gets the blood pumping. It wakens your organs, and it just makes you feel so much better. um, so meditation, exercise, and whatever that self-care looks like, make sure that is on your to-do list, at the top of the list. For me, it's going to the beach, it is swimming, it is connecting with the water. For me, that's my go-to for my self-care, and it helps tremendously. So find that thing that feeds you, only you, not anything you do for your kids or your
Mhm.
family. This is something strictly for you. Tap into that. Very important.
Oh my goodness. I love that you said that. I absolutely love that you said that. Michelle Obama said, we have to put ourselves on our own priority list. And
Yes,
that speaks to self-care like no other,
yes.
especially in the transition that you and I are doing, right? We're going from a corporate environment that has rules for us to follow and structure to entrepreneurship where we are creating the rules and
Mhm.
we are building it around the life that we want to have.
Right.
And it could easily go to a place where you're forgetting about yourself because you are pushing so hard for
Yes.
this goal and to attain this thing that you're working for, right?
Mhm.
That you kind of slip on that self-care, but
Mhm.
you have to, like you said, make self-care something that's on the top of your list.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And I want to add mentorship.
Mm,
Um, you know, I initially, before getting into this entrepreneurial realm, I struggled with um, reading how beneficial having a mentor is, because it was, for me, it's like, okay, where do I find this mentor, you know
mm,
and and it just seems like everything kind of lined up to where, on Facebook, seeing ads, I was able to run across a couple of amazing women who's helped me. So I encourage people to find that mentor. For me, it was Mia Redrick for my business side. It is Liz Simpson for my sales side, and I have a personal life coach that also helps me through decisions and when I get down. So it's, I have three now, and I couldn't find any initially. But whatever area you're in, make sure you seek out a mentor.
that is another awesome gem. You just keep dropping gems in here, Miss Reed. Yes, finding your support, whatever that is, if it's
Yes.
mentorship, if it's therapy, if it's a business coach,
Yeah.
is absolutely important on this journey. And we can do a whole nother segment just on that, right?
Story.
The types, how to find them,
Yes.
and to help people on that journey. Because like you said, when you're thinking about it and you're starting off, that's another obstacle, or can be another obstacle.
Yes.
Of what to look for. How do I know I'm spending money in the right place and they're right for me? They're going to take me to where I want to go and not where they think I should go.
Correct.
Right?
And I urge you to do that now that we're
Yes.
talking about it. I think that literally should be our next video of
Let's do it.
finding
it.
proper mentorship. I'm in. I'm in.
Let's do it. As I remember in college, and I've heard stories from others where you have that student advisor and they give you advice, but it's not really for you sometimes. Like you're trying to go into accounting and they're having you take all of these, organic chemistry classes.
Right.
Why would I do that? Is it part of I'm going to be here another year into, my program. Absolutely. I'd love to connect with you and talk about mentorship, talk about more self-care and support, whether it's mentorship, coaching, therapy, things like that. I think that would be awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today this has been great. So many gems shared with Mr. Ray Reed with impeccable patient care. She is the patient care strategist, and she is leading this charge in the healthcare industry. Stay tuned with us for more. Thank you so much for joining us, for listening, and I hope on this Wednesday, which is also Women Crush Wednesday, that we've encouraged some other women who are in the valley of indecision, of transition, going through that decision-making process and feeling maybe alone, that you're not alone. If you're doubting yourself or at that point where the imposter syndrome is starting to rise up, don't let it. Don't let it. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this.
Yes.
I am Janelle Hurst with Legacy Rose Company, and so happy to be here to encourage you on your journey. Thanks so much. Thank you again, Miss Reed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.